Yes, I delivered. I'm usually in a tux at the office. Hello. It's good to be here. I'm glad that we're close to you guys. It makes it easy for us. We typically don't get to come to events like this because you don't like us that much. No. So here's the thing. I'm going to ask, who was at convention last year? Good amount of people. Of those people, how many were on the trip that we all took together? Okay. Good. The thing that I love about Optavia, so since most people know my story, I won't tell it, but I'll give you a brief version for those who don't. So I've been in this position with Optavia for about 18 months, and it's been great. Before that, I was living in Copenhagen, Denmark, and before that I was in Brussels, Belgium. Before that I was in Tel Aviv, Israel, and before that Argentina, so I've been around a lot of places. And the fun thing about experiencing a lot of different places and living in different places, experiencing different cultures and different people, is you get a good sense of the things that you like and the things that you would prefer not to experience, okay? The benefit that I've had of having all those different experiences is being very clear on what matters to me. What matters to me most is family, and beyond that, community, and a community that shares certain types of values. When I saw what was being created by all of you by participating in this wonderful mission, I was immediately attracted to it so much that I pulled my family out of a very lovely, comfortable situation in Copenhagen and moved back to the United States after living abroad for many, many years and settling here in Maryland. The good news is we happen to love it here. The better news is that here, for me, is really the Optavia community. You can be from Maryland, you can be from a lot of places, but I feel like I'm from a community that's a powerful force in society. That's my belief, okay? And it's based on the values that have been created by the people who have built this in a certain way. So that's why it matters to me on a personal level. On a professional level, well, there's really no difference. We're all individuals and we're all collectively working towards something, and we take our responsibility very seriously as we go out and try to do something that other people might say, well, you're crazy. When people say they're going to have a life of impact, they're going to make a big, big difference in the world, there's a lot of people who will say, not you. But the people who say, why not? Okay, so who are the people that are supposed to make a big impact? Well, they're the only ones that choose to make impact, and then their actions lead them towards that impact. I don't know if there's like a designation. I don't know if there's some sort of person who's tapping them on the shoulder saying, you're going to be the person. No, you tap yourself on the shoulder. What Doug and Tia have expressed is that. You just heard it. They said they saw something. They recognize that they're not going to just lay a brick and say, this is a wall that we're building. They say, we're building something bigger. And why it matters to me is because I really struggle thinking about the future as it relates to my children. That's my big why. I really struggle with that. I wonder about how we're trending. I wonder about what kind of life it will be for future generations. And maybe it's weird to be thinking so far down the road, but I do. And I think any parent does, or anybody who has something that they want to see persist beyond their lifetime does that. It's very normal to do that. But then you ask the question, well, how do we make change? One person at a time. I love your traditions. That's one of the things in Optavia that I've fallen in love with. I love the way you gather. I love the way you love on each other. I love the way that you support each other. I admire that greatly. It's something that I would like to emulate more of. And I learned that from all of you. I learned that from the leadership who says, yeah, we could be about a lot of different things, but we're going to be about love and help and kindness and goodness. Yeah, that's something I can get behind. Interestingly enough, the traditions like convention, we're about to go into a record-setting convention, right? It's going to be wild. You guys are going to make it crazy. You guys are giving us logistical problems that we've never had to experience before. But we love it, and we're adapting, and we're learning, and we're growing, and we're not perfect. That's okay, because nobody is. And it's fun learning new things. I never want to get to a point where I've just stopped learning, because it probably means that I've died. That's no fun. Fun part is the journey, and you guys have established a wonderful journey that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So being part of that on the company side is extremely important. It matters to us. My job at the company is really to take the things that I see, that I hear, that I admire and respect so much from all of you, and bring it into like a corporate environment that typically doesn't operate that way, because most corporations don't operate that way. But we're changing. We're growing. We're becoming better. We're learning. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we learn from those mistakes, hopefully. Right? That's called life. Speaking of life, who was on the trip again? Okay. This last trip, you guys were crazy, energetic, fun, exciting, and thousands of people just polluting this cruise ship. This is the good type of pollution, right? You were just, everywhere you go, you would see someone in the Optavia community just being great. That was such an enriching experience. On the last night, what was the last night? The big celebration? The glow party. I didn't go. I know, I'm kind of a downer. I didn't go. And actually, there was a reason why I didn't go. And this will be the only time I will ever tell this story. It will be the only time I ever tell this story. I won't tell it at a convention story. It'll be just for this group, because it's really personal. And we're all best friends now, so I'll share as best friends do. Very personal stories. So it had been a long week and a wonderful week, and I didn't go to the glow party just because I needed some like decompression time, right? Because you guys are exhausting. No, I just wanted to let all of my teams and all of you guys just enjoy, and I was going to go kind of hide away in my room. Well, I think there was probably a reason for that, because at about 10:30, I got a call from my mother while we're still at sea. And she got through and she said, "Hey, I have some bad news." And whenever my mom calls, it's like something big. I hate when she calls. Because usually I get like a text like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you up to?" But when I get a call when she knows that I'm like at sea, she knows where I am. And I got this call, and it was bad news. It was really bad news. I thought, okay, we have to give it a couple hours. 3 hours passed, and it was really bad news. Someone in our family had passed away. And it was someone who was just a few years older than me, a cousin of mine, who was like a sister. And she passed away that night, tragically, leaving 3 boys behind and a husband. Her oldest being 15 and her youngest being 9. And it was hard, it was tough news. Anytime you receive that type of news. Want to know the sad part? 100% preventable. Her health had got a little sideways. My brother later told me that when they went to the memorial service, he was actually speaking to my high school girlfriend's father, my ex-girlfriend's father, who's a cardiologist. He was asking me, like, "Man, what happened?" And he said, unfortunately, it could have been prevented, like, easy. Anyway, so we lost this wonderful shining star, and the memorial service featured almost 1,000 people who just came out and loved this person so much. And I don't tell these types of stories because it's more fun to talk about my son and how he loves the coaches, because he does. But this story really hit home because truly, my first thought was such a loss, because we lost someone that's so great. And had an Optavia coach been there, this could have been prevented. That's my belief. That is my belief. So, when all is said and done, not to put all the responsibility on you, but why not share? I wish somebody had shared, or maybe she had been shared with, and maybe she wasn't receptive, but she would have told me. She would have said, an Optavia coach called me. And I would have said, listen, they have something to offer. Man, I wish I could turn back the clock a little bit, just a few months, but you can't, and you never can. That's okay. So I hope it's okay that I share kind of a sad story, but it actually has a happy ending, because we're all here, and we all get to share. And the benefit and the value of Optavia for me, what I see in all of you and the way that you interact with me, always so kind, always so gracious, is you share. You share how you're feeling. You share your wins. You share your losses. You share when an order went to the wrong person. You share. And I love that you don't perceive a boundary. Ever. No, but I love that. And do you know why? Because leaders like Doug, leaders like Tia, leaders like Susie, Mitchell, everyone who is leading, Dr. Anderson, have taught you wonderful things like being genuine, being authentic, right? It doesn't just happen, right? I love that. So it's okay if there are no boundaries there. And you just say, hey, I have a question for you, Nick, and it's like totally out of left field. I love that. I really do. You're powerful people. You're important people. We're all doing great work. You're just doing the frontline work, right? Anyway, I'm happy that I will only share this story once. You'll never hear it again. This is the one time, because otherwise you'll see me cry. And I'm not going to cry because I see cameras pointed at me. Unless that's the longest, most awkward selfie. Anyway, you're amazing people and being led by amazing people, and you're leading amazing people. So I just wanted to say on behalf of the company, thank you so much for what you do.